I can't believe it. We're at the end of this series, Retirement Grief, Wholeness in the In Between. As we close this series, I want to name something many women quietly fear: the feeling of being stuck. But I've got good news. What if you're not stuck at all? How about that? What if you're integrating? I told you I had good news. Welcome back to Purpose Over Paycheck with me, Dr. Lisa. This is a midlife reinvention movement for women 50 plus, rising in faith, walking in freedom, living in flow, and flourishing in every God designed season. Here we shift beliefs, we elevate purpose, and step boldly into our next chapter. And I'm excited about it. Can you tell? Ooh, we are talking about not being stuck, but integrating completion without pressure, right? Integration is slower than action. And we were used to action, cause, effect, action, reaction, proactive, right? Quieter. Integration is quieter than reinvention, less visible than change. Integration, in the previous episode, I talked about planting a seed. Even if you think about planting a seed in a pot for a potted plant, let's not even take it as big as a garden, but even a house plant or herbs or something like that inside the house, and you plant it in the soil. Just because you can't see what's happening under the surface doesn't mean nothing is going on. That seed is integrating into its new environment. The seed and the soil are becoming one, so that what has been planted, what is designed to grow and develop and emerge and come forth, can happen. And it is happening, even though we can't see it with our naked eye. But as we nurture it, as we keep it safe, it'll come through. Just like where we are right now, not being stuck, but in our integration process. And because integration doesn't announce itself, there are no banners, noisemakers, streamers, parade, ticker tape parade, right? It's often mistaken for stagnation. And listen, we are women who have excelled in life and in our careers. In stagnation, what? Is like unacceptable. But we're redefining and looking closer at where we are. Over these episodes in this series, and if you missed episodes 1 through 6, go back and watch them. They're in the playlist. We've named grief. We've honored identity. We've held paradox. We've made room for what's emerging. What you've been feeling was not confusion. It was transition. And not to say it didn't feel confusing, but the actual experience was that of transitioning. Transitioning from what used to be, from what was known and solid for so long, to something new. What felt like emptiness was often grief. What felt like slowness was integration. What felt like being lost was your life reorganizing itself after a season that asked everything of you. Let me repeat that for the folks on the back row. What felt like being lost was your life reorganizing itself after a season that asked everything of you. It took every ounce of your being. When I thought about that, I thought about when I have 2 children, and I thought about during my pregnancies, all the energy that was being drawn from me by what I was carrying, right? And what I was carrying required nutrients and nurturing from me, even though it had not manifested yet on the outside. That's why when you hear people say, "Oh, I'm eating for two, I'm doing this for two," because I needed extra fuel in my body. I needed extra resources so that even after the child I was carrying got everything that he and she needed, that I still had enough to sustain myself. The careers that we had, the lives that we had before this season of our lives, this chapter of our lives required everything of us. And we are now in a season where life is reorganizing. None of that is passive. None of that is stagnation. None of that is laziness. Integration is the work of allowing your life to settle into coherence. So the next chapter doesn't require fragmentation. The next chapter isn't pulling and drawing and asking everything of you. You don't rush integration, you live it. You notice when your reactions soften, when your self talk becomes kinder, when urgency loosens its grip. These are signs wholeness is forming. Retirement grief isn't something to get over. Let me repeat that. Retirement grief isn't something to just get over. It's something to move through with awareness, compassion, and faith. It's like Alcoholics Anonymous or Narcotics Anonymous or Shopaholics Anonymous. In order to get through the other side, there are steps, lived through steps. But even before getting to those steps, there is an acknowledgement that I am Lisa. My name is Lisa and I am XYZ, right? Having a name on it so that we can move through the steps in the process. I am Lisa and I was challenged with retirement grief. And when integration is honored, since we've named it, we're living through it, we're integrating, we're getting into a place of wholeness, we're aware, we're compassionate, we're moving in faith, action becomes clearer, release becomes possible. And the next season, my God, today arrives without force. You don't need to push yourself forward. Stop pushing. Those days are done, honey. Stop pushing. You don't need to push yourself forward. You need to trust what has already shifted. You need to trust what has already shifted. See how that feels in your body? Let me invite you to the final reflection for this series. In the comments, answer this gently. What feels more integrated in you now than when we began this series? A feeling, a belief, a way of being? And if you walked with me through this series, subscribe, like, share this with someone that you know is in the same place that you were before this series began. When we started in episode 1, and the metamorphosis and the emergence and the integration that has happened now that we're in our final episode, episode 7. Because honoring wholeness is how we prepare for what's next. And don't we want to share this gift with somebody else? Yes, of course we do. Integration is not the delay before the next chapter. Absolutely not. Integration is the sacred ground where the next chapter takes root. Mm. Before we part, let me bless you. May you stop mistaking slowness for being stuck. May you trust the quiet work happening within you. May your faith steady you as integration unfolds. May your freedom deepen as coherence returns. May your flow carry you forward, not hurried, not hesitant, but whole. And may you remember, you are not behind. You are not unfinished. You are integrating a life that mattered. Wholeness was always the win. Midlife is not a crisis. It's our invitation to reinvention. We're still here. We're still rising. And we're making this next chapter our best one yet. Faith, freedom, flow, flourishing. This that we're integrating, we're walking through together, and we're building together is 50 plus reinvented.